Hello everyone. So let's continue with our ocular ultrasound. Continuing with retinal detachment. Retinal detachment, it is seen as an hyperechoic undulating membrane in the posterior globe that usually is extending to the lateral globe. Retinal detachment is usually seen as a thicker, more linear membrane than the thinner membrane of the posterior vitreous detachment. Complete retinal detachment may appear as V-shaped and will be tethered to the optic nerve and hence does not cross the midline, whereas in a posterior vitreous detachment you could see that it crosses the midline. Macula is present temporal to the optic nerve. If the retinal detachment extends temporally from the base of the optic nerve, it can be assumed that it has come off the macula, which is referred as MAC of retinal detachment. Retinal detachment with the retina still over the macula is an ocular emergency, warranting an emergency consultation to ophthalmology in order to take measures to prevent the retina coming off the macula. So this is how it will be seen. This is the retinal membrane which is detached. It is tethered to the optic disc as seen here. Next is the periorbital cellulitis. Periorbital cellulitis, it is the infection that is anterior to the septum of the eye. So the blue line here indicates the ocular septum as seen here. In the periorbital cellulitis, there will be thickening of the palpebral tissue as seen in this image. Here anteriorly there is thickening of the palpebral tissue even in this image as seen here with the collection seen anteriorly. Next, coming to orbital cellulitis. This is a hypoechoic rim concerning for post-septal fluid tracking the posterior globe. Along with that, there is thickening of the posterior segment of the eye as seen with the short arrow. These are the findings seen in orbital cellulitis. This is another image showing thickening of the surrounding tissue of the eye along with fluid collection. Next, coming to optic nerve sheath diameter, which is seen in an elevated intracranial pressure. Evaluation of the optic nerve sheath diameter can detect elevated ICP. Measuring the optic nerve sheath diameter is helpful in determination of elevated ICP, especially those who present to emergency department with head injury and those with spontaneous intracranial bleed. Ocular ultrasound is rapid, non-invasive means of detecting elevated ICP, particularly for patients who have an altered mental status, unconscious, intubated or sedated. Increased optic nerve sheath diameter as a proxy for elevated ICP has also been associated with poor neurological outcome. In cardiac arrest patients, where do we measure this? Position of 3 mm behind the globe, 3 mm is recommended. Here the optic nerve sheath diameter is measured. Two measurements are averaged. A averaged optic nerve sheath diameter more than 5 mm in adults is considered abnormal and elevated ICP should be considered. An average optic nerve sheath diameter more than 4.5 mm in children, that is from 1 to 15 years, and more than 4 mm in less than 1 year is abnormal. This has a sensitivity of 95.6% and specificity of 92.3%. So this one is very important from emergency medicine point of view. Next, coming to retroorbital hematoma. Retroorbital hematoma can be secondary to trauma or due to other non-traumatic causes. It appears as an hypoechoic area posterior to the globe as seen in this image. This triangular hypoechoic area is a retroorbital hematoma, also known as guitar pick sign. Next, coming to CRAO, hyperechoic focus is seen posterior to the globe within the optic nerve sheath as seen in this image. This is termed as spot sign. Retrobulbar spot sign may predict the ineffectiveness of thrombolytic treatment in patients with CRAO with the spot sign. Color Doppler imaging and pulse wave Doppler can also be used to search for flow into the central retinal artery. Next, coming to this mnemonic fovea, we can keep this in mind while performing an ocular ultrasound, wherein first F is front of the eye. What do we see in the front of eye is foreign body, lens dislocation and subluxation. O stands for optic nerve, wherein we see for optic nerve sheath diameter in case of raised ICP. Next, V stands for vitreous, wherein we look for retinal detachment, vitreous hemorrhage, retinal hemorrhage, vitreous detachment and lens dislocation in the vitreous. E stands for extraocular, wherein we see for globe rupture, foreign body, retrobulbar hemorrhage. A stands for artery, where we look for CRAO. So hope this was useful. Thank you.